Hi guys, my name is Jennifer Rowe and either welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, what we're doing is a story time. I filmed it while I was having breakfast, I don't know, like maybe a half hour ago. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get into that. If you haven't already though, do me a favor and click on that subscribe button and that bell notification so that whenever I upload, you can see me uploading. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Last night was a show. I just woke up, I don't know, maybe like an hour ago and I'm super hungry. I made myself some avocado toast with salsa verde on top. It's my favorite. And then I'm also drinking some bone broth that I slow cooked for like 14 hours yesterday. And I've got some green juice right here. Let's start off with this. I have decided that I have a new minimum. I believe a lot. I don't believe. I practice the law of assumption a lot, and I practice manifestation and all that stuff. And with that, obviously, I'm going to bring it to work because that's where I make my money. So just to give you guys an example, like back in the day, this is so embarrassing to even say, if I made $250, I was settling with that. You know, I considered that like an okay night at work. This is not really going to be a mukbang because I was super hungry and I just inhaled that. Anyways, so let's get back to story time. So long story short, I hit my new average, my new chosen reality of what it is that I make nightly. I get to work and immediately it was kind of like a slow night. You know, it was Thursday, it was kind of early, and I meet these two gentlemen. That's definitely not the proper word to use. These two men, right? They work with each other. One buys a dance for another. I see the very extroverted guy, and he seems like a lot of fun. That's fine. You know, you're in a party environment. And then his very like, kind of giving me like shy vibes, which should have been, you know, a red flag. So his friend buys him a dance. So I give him a dance, and I give him a dance downstairs, and he seems like he's really feeling it. He tips me very generously for the dance. And obviously I'm working, so I go back to hang out with them, and him and I start, you know, conversating. I'm doing like my whole work thing. He tells me a little bit about himself, tells me he just recently went through a breakup. He seems like a really normal guy. I'm never super worried about the very loud person or the person that's like overtly trying to get people's attention. It's more the person that is really quiet and is trying to convince you that they're normal. And he got me for a second, okay? He definitely did trick me. He starts complimenting me. He's like, "You're so beautiful." And you know, to be honest, like, it's nice to hear, but it really doesn't do much for me. It doesn't flatter me that much. I hear this stuff all the time. I know that sounds really conceited, but this is for all dancers. We hear it all the time. "You're so beautiful. I want you to be my wife." There's jokes within like the dancer community that we get proposed to like nightly. You know, like two men last night said they wanted me to be their wives. And I don't think of it, you know, it's not a big deal. It's just some weird thing that customers do, I guess. I promise. I'm not making this stuff up. So he's like, "I want a wife, you know, just like you, like your facial features, this, and that." He's like, "I'll do whatever you want." All right, whatever. So he's trying to gas me up. And I'm thinking, this is a great way to make money, you know, like he's like personable, you know, he's nice, and I'm going to make money off of him because he tipped me very generously from a dance, you know, downstairs. So I asked him, I was like, "Hey, we have like a VIP section. Would you like to go get a VIP dance?" So he's like, "Yes, absolutely. Whatever you want. Whatever you want." That's what he said. Whatever you want. All right, guys. So whatever you want, like, I'm not putting a gun to nobody's head. I'm an entertainer. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into when you walk into the club. Although I should say that this guy really kept saying, "I'm not a strip club guy. I'm not a strip club guy." That's weird, okay? Like, what do you mean you're not a strip club guy? Like, you're at the strip club, okay? I'm not a strip club guy. I don't know. You know, it's okay to not be a strip club guy, but it's just something about the "I'm not a strip club guy" that just rubs me the wrong way. Because, like, why not? Why not, right? And he really kept saying that it was just awkward for him, like he was just felt awkward, and that's fine, I understand, like not everyone is desensitized, like, you know, a lot of us are, like after a while, you know, you do something so many times, like it's not a big deal. Like I can see naked women all the time and I can give lap dances, and this stuff isn't like earth shattering to me or life changing. This is my normal, and I don't expect my normal to be everybody else's normal. So anyhow, we end up going upstairs, we end up going to the VIP, and the VIP host says, as the VIP host is supposed to do, because we are a business and we are all working, ask the man, he says, would you guys like to get a room, or what is it that we're doing up here? So I assumed that he wanted, as a not strip club guy, that he was going to buy just VIP individual dances. But when the VIP host asked us, what are we doing? I asked him, so what are we doing? Are we getting dances, or are we getting a room? And he goes and he tells me again, whatever you want. All right, so whatever you want is like, why would I? Like, okay, I want a room because I'm working. All right, I'm selling dances. Like you're paying me for my time. So I'm like, all right, we'll take a half-hour room, and we set our own prices there. Now, just recently, I used to have my prices pretty high. I know there's girls that charge more and there's girls that charge less. When I first started, like $800 for a half hour was something that I tried to do. But to be honest with you, they're not super easy to sell, and at that rate, people sometimes expect more, you know, for the time. So I had bumped down my prices down to $600. But just just yesterday, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna bring my prices down to $300 for the half hour. To me, that is not a lot of money to be in a room with me for a half hour. But you know what, I feel like it's easier to sell a $300 room than to sell an $800 room. The expectancy level should be lower. And, you know, all I have to do is sell, you know, 3-4 rooms a night, and like I hit my nightly goal. So I'm like, all right, $300, I tax the guy, and it comes up to a little bit over $400. So immediately after he signs, he's pissed. Like he is so pissed. Like his personality just switches. And we go to the bar, he treats the bartender like complete crap. He's so angry, and he starts cussing over, like, I don't even know what the hell he was, I really don't know what he was angry about. I'm thinking like, all right, like let's keep your poker face, because at the end of the day, I told myself when I decided that I am gonna have a new minimum for work, that I'm gonna have to behave more like a professional, and my job is to be an entertainer, not to lose face and be reactive to like bullshit, basically. My mind is on a goal, and my goal is to make money. That's it. So if you're having a temper tantrum and I'm still making money, like I'm probably gonna deal with your temper tantrum. But at the same time, there's levels to this. You know, when you start getting like disrespectful, I don't care how much money you spend. Like I literally don't care. You know, there's like, you can be difficult, but not disrespectful. So we go into the champagne room, and not for nothing, I'm not just being biased, like, I work at a really, really nice place, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not an insecure person. I do feel like I am worth a lot more than $300 for 30 minutes. In my mind, I'm just doing a bargain, you know? Like, I'm like, this is a good deal. Like, you get to hang out with me, topless, in a nice ass, super upscale VIP, you know, club in the middle of, like, we're in Central Florida in one of the nicest clubs. Like, what are you bitching about for $300 a half hour? That's not a lot of money. Anyways, so I'm not telling him this, but I'm thinking it internally. My job is not to be reactive. My job is to be professional. He's like, what the did I just pay for? And we're sitting in a room where there's like tuft walls and like crystal fucking chandeliers, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, well, you got a room, honey. You know? So I tell him, I was like, you got a room. Like, we rent your room. And he's like, he wants his wet. And I'm like, oh, here we can go. And I'm like, well, I can dance for you. I was like, we can do what we can chill. He's like, I want to watch football. We have TVs. We also have, the place is nice. I don't know what this man was like. This guy was like, I was like, all right, Matrix, this one's glitching. This one's glitching, Matrix. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, universe, when I said that I wanted to make this goal every night, I need you to deliver it in a way that's going to be pleasant. Like, Matrix, this one's glitching. This one right now is just glitching. It's not making any sense. Like, I need a new one. So anyways, I'm like, well, I can get you a remote. We have remotes. There's TV screens inside of these champagne rooms. Like, they're really nice. Like, this guy's just being like awful. So I go to the VIP host. I'm like, can I please get a remote? He's like, I can't change that TV. So he ends up getting upgraded to a more expensive room just so his ass can watch some football. With myself, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here because he doesn't even want me to dance. Because at this point, he's like repulsed by just like where he is, like disgusting. He's like, this place is so grimy. Ugh, you're grimy, fucking weirdo. So he's talking, and he's like, as he's speaking, I could see that he was all like, I could tell that he was already upset. But now he's getting like more like I don't know, how do I explain this? I know that when I start popping off, like you can tell the adrenaline, like your body starts like moving, and I'm like, at this point, like, this isn't even worth it anymore. He's like, I could be at home for $400 smoking weed. And I can't make this shit up. He's like, smoking weed, bought an ounce for this much, which I don't know if it was an ounce. I don't know. He said, I don't do drugs, so I don't know like how much an ounce is, but basically he said for $400 he could have bought a whole bunch of weed, been smoking it on his couch and jerking his dick off. All right, I'm like, well, typically, like when people get these rooms, they want like 30 minutes worth of dances. So, I mean, like, we can do whatever you want. If you want me to sit here for, 30 minutes, like I could sit here for 30 minutes and just listen to you while you watch football, or I could dance for you. And he's like, you know what, at this point, like just dance for me. Let's go ahead and just dance for me. So I'm dancing for him, and he's asking me, like, are you in a relationship? Do you have a boyfriend? And I said yes, because even though I am a professional, like, I'm not here to play head games with anybody. Like, it's not that serious, guys. Like, we're entertainers, and, like, I am playing into a fantasy, but, like, don't get ahead of yourself. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I do have a boyfriend. Fucking, he gets so mad. He's like, ugh, how do you expect me to get my dick hard when you say that? Like, bro. He's like, I know if it wasn't me here, it'd be someone else. And I'm like, I cannot imagine, like, the relation, like, because he had told me earlier that he had just gone through a breakup. Like, I cannot imagine being with this guy. Like, this guy is insane, like, absolutely insane. And just as I thought, you know what, I started putting my shoes back on, because I was like, I'm not fucking putting up with this. Like, this is too much bullshit. I was like, this is just not worth it. I'm not saying this, like, I am used to being treated very well, even at the club. Like, I don't deal with that, inside or outside of the club. And typically, honestly, like, the guys that come to work, like, they're not usually like that. The guys are just really looking for a good time, that want the company of a pretty girl. And, we have fun. We drink, we dance, and they're not typically like this. Like, they're not. Like, I don't... This guy was just a freaking nightmare. I'm used to being treated like a queen. Like, where we work, we have like a 5-star restaurant there too. Like, they'll buy me food. I'm drinking champagne. I'm dancing, and it's usually, honestly, an amazing time. Like, I love my job. I'm not just saying that, but I love my job. I mean, it gets tiresome because of the schedule. It's physically demanding, sometimes like mentally, like I'm saying right now. But in general, I usually like my job. As I start putting my shoes on, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go downstairs if you don't mind. And I'm like, that's what I was about to do anyways. So I end up just running to my phone as quickly as possible and like blocking him on all, because he added me on his dog's Instagram account, and then he added me on his personal account too. And it's not uncommon for me to meet people at the club and me to follow them on Instagram if they're taking care of me financially, so that, if I'm ever at work and it's slow or something like that, I can message them, or if they want to message me to see if I'm working, like that type of stuff. So my Instagram really is for work. But I was like, nah, like, this guy is... So I immediately blocked him off of everything, and I stayed far away from him. I mean, and I'm having a hard time, like, honestly, like, telling you guys, like, everything that he said. Everything that he said was, like, he basically called the place grimy, that this place sucked. He said that he was paying for my clothes. He's like, I just paid for your clothes. Like, at least the money is going to something good, you know, so you can buy yourself some clothes. Like, dude. I don't even want to say this stuff, but like, let's be honest, like, it's not even that much money. Like, bro, chill the F out. Like, me and my man go and have date night for $300, like, at a steakhouse, and that's cocktails. Like, I am in a relationship, and I'm in a good relationship, but I don't financially support men. All right, I just wanted to clear that because that sounded really weird. When I heard myself say, I'm like, well, I don't want anyone thinking that I like work and like give my boyfriend my money. Like, that's not what happens. I'm just saying, like, I'm used to like having dinner for $300. You know, like, I'm not just saying this. I'm being dead serious. So, anyways, whatever. Yeah, you didn't buy me clothes. You bought me like a baked potato. We had a theme going. We had a whole theme going for the night, right? It didn't stop there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, today I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna put a custom order to the universe of like what kind of clientele it is that I want to deal with, because I always get what I want. Like, I consider myself a master manifester, but I had just asked for how much money I wanted to make, and I didn't really say exactly how it is that I wanted to make it. So now, universe, like, I want to make it with people that are enjoyable to, I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but I'm really not. These people need to be enjoyable, okay? Thanks. Anyways, yeah, so there was a theme going for the rest of the night. Go downstairs, and I'm just like, literally, like, my blood pressure is going through the roof because, like, I'm just, like, ticked off. I'm trying to not be reactive. I mean, I wasn't reactive towards him, but internally I was, like, boiling. So I'm sitting here, like, I'm sitting by myself, like, just kind of, like, trying to, like, cool down. This other customer comes up to me, and I can tell by the shirt that he was wearing that, you know, he was a wealthy man. So he invites me to go sit with him in VIP. And as we're talking, like, he's sitting right here, and I'm sitting here. I danced for him, like, only one time. And he's looking at me from this angle, and he's like, tell me how beautiful he thinks I am, yada, yada, yada. Also, he wants me to be his wife as well. And then I noticed that he's, like, staring, like, in this portion of my face. He's, like, looking. And I struggle with acne. I have my entire adult life. It's actually much better than it was before, but certain foods trigger it. Deep fried foods, dairies, coffee, basically all the really good stuff. But I just got back from vacation, and on vacation, like, I don't really restrict myself. I have some cystic acne flaring up down here, and he's, like, staring, you know, at my fucking chin that's breaking out. It's already, like, getting to me in my head because, like, I mean, who the hell wants, like, boils on their face, right? Anyways, like, guys, it was just, I'm talking about my fucking boils on YouTube. This guy, after he's, like, complimenting me and all this different stuff, like, he's, like, looking at my face, and I kid you not, guys, I kid you not, he fucking touches it. Like, he's, like, rubbing my fucking pimple. And I'm like, he's like, oh, it's like you're still going through puberty. But bro, don't touch my face. Don't touch my active. Like, don't. And that wasn't even it. Like, he was telling me that I needed bigger boobs. Guys, I'm an E. I'm an E. I'm a size E. And he was saying that they're not where they're supposed to be. Like, I'm an E. Where do you think these are gonna sit? They're not, like, saggy. They're just big ass boobs. No, I don't need bigger boobs. The fuck? He was actually a lot more pleasant than the guy that I hung out with upstairs earlier that night. But, like, just in general, I just couldn't. Like, man, you touched my pimple. Stop it. Like, no. And then, that's not it. That's not it, guys. Like, it just freaking keeps going. Fast forward, it's towards the end of the night. It's like the last, like, half hour. I'm upstairs giving someone a dance. And this other dancer comes up to me and she's like, hey, would you do, you know, a half hour for... would you do a half hour for 300? You know, we only have 30 minutes left with her, the person that she was sitting with that night. And honestly, after that $300 half hour room with the other guy, I was like, that is not enough. But we only have 30 minutes left, so I was like, F it, you know, like, I didn't even have to work for this one. Like, they just picked me up from VIP. So I was like, okay, like, let's go. So, like, I see this guy, and he's got, like, a cute, like, little baby face. Like, he's Asian, but he's, like, 6'3". Like, seriously, he was super tall. And he's like, all right, let's go to VIP. And as soon as we get in, he's got, like, his... he has us play his, like, Chinese... Yeah, because he's from China. He had his Chinese music playing because, and like I said earlier, like, our rooms are super nice. Like, you can pick your own music. He has his girl, or like the other dancer, look up his music, and you can play your own music in the room. So we're listening to his Chinese music, and the I'm turned around and I'm looking at the TV screen while she's changing it, and it's like anime, like their version of like hip hop or rap, like some gangster stuff. Like, you could just tell with the beat. Like, obviously, like, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I could just like tell with the beat. And guys, I turn around. And as I'm turning around, he's like standing up, like in front of the couch. He's like standing up, like in front of the couch, straight face. Like, he's like dead serious. Like, he's on some like G shit right now. And he's like unbuttoning like his shirt. Like, just completely takes his shirt off. Just gets on the couch and is like, like some movie stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh snap. I was like, I'm this girl in the movie right now. I was like, whatever, this girl's kind of cool, right? Like, no one ever gets her perspective, but like, here you go, guys. I'm the... This is funny. And he was gonna try and sell us like the money, because I guess I know that a lot of banks, like, after you spend like so much in one night, like, it'll like just freeze your account just in case it got stolen, just because it might be an unusual transaction or something like that. So he wanted to sell us the money, and I'm over here like next to him, like looking at his phone. He has like over $1 million in his bank account, and the guy's like 25. Like, damn, you're only gonna give us 300. All in all, like, I came home really like happy and grateful that, you know, at this point, like, I'm just happy that I make like very good money. But come on, like, this needs to be like, I do like my job. A very strange night, just a very strange group of people. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Like, I wanted to share my story time. Ugh. I wanted to share my story time.